It was a night that fans had been anticipating for months. The press room was alive with the kind of energy that only comes when millions of eyes are focused on a single stage, a single name. Wang had entered with his usual poise, his calm smile masking the tension that rippled beneath the surface. He had faced countless interviews, countless cameras, countless questions. Yet tonight was different. Shen Yue's name floated silently in the air before it was even spoken. It had always carried weight. The connection between them was something the world had watched grow, a story that unfolded on screens, in magazines, and in the whispers of fans across social media. Yet despite all the rumors, the speculations, and the relentless gaze of the public, the truth had always been private. Until now. The interviewer leaned forward, microphone in hand, and posed the question that had been carefully avoided for weeks. Dylan, can you tell us how it feels to work with someone who has been a significant part of your life, Shen Yue? The room seemed to hold its breath. Cameras focused, recording every micro-expression, every subtle gesture. The moment was fragile, weighted with expectation. For a fraction of a second, Dylan's eyes shifted, glancing away as if seeking the courage to speak the words that had been circling in his heart. Then he inhaled, slowly, deliberately, and looked directly into the camera, into the lens that carried the gaze of millions. His voice, low and steady at first, broke the silence. "It's complicated," he said, almost as if testing the waters of his own confession. "Shen Yue and I, we've shared a lot, more than anyone could really understand. There's history there, and working with her again, it's like reopening a chapter you thought was closed. It's exhilarating, yes, but it's also terrifying." The words were careful, measured, but they carried a weight that could not be denied. Fans leaned closer to their screens, feeling the tension, sensing the vulnerability that Dylan rarely allowed anyone to witness. He paused. The room remained silent. Then he continued, his voice softening, revealing the cracks in the armor he had so carefully built over the years. "There's a kind of bond you don't get with anyone else. You share moments that aren't just about the work, but about life itself. And with Shen Yue, that bond is undeniable. It's something that shapes you, something that stays with you no matter what happens, no matter how much time passes." The cameras captured every blink, every subtle shift of emotion. Dylan's hands rested lightly on the table, fingers tightening and loosening as he spoke. He was aware that every gesture would be analyzed, every inflection dissected. And yet, he spoke anyway. He spoke because the truth had grown too heavy to hold in, because the weight of silence had become unbearable. He leaned forward slightly, his gaze becoming more intense, more personal. "I've tried to be careful," he admitted, "because there are so many expectations, so many eyes watching. But the truth is, feelings like this, you can't hide them forever. You can't ignore them, and you can't pretend they don't exist. Shen Yue, she's not just a co-star. She's not just a friend. She's someone who has shaped who I am. And I think she always will." The words hung in the air like a fragile crystal, shimmering under the bright lights. Reporters and cameras captured it all, but the impact was felt far beyond the room. Screens across the country showed Dylan Wang's rare vulnerability, his public acknowledgement of something he had long kept private. Social media erupted, fans dissecting every word, every glance, every pause. The confession was raw, unfiltered, and profoundly human. He continued, speaking with a quiet intensity that seemed to draw the world closer to him. "It's not about what people think, or what's convenient, or even what's expected of us. It's about the truth of how I feel, and it's about respect. Respect for what we've shared, and for what she means to me." For a moment, the room was still. Even the flash of cameras seemed to pause, as if acknowledging the gravity of what was being said. Dylan's eyes softened, and for the first time that evening, a small, almost imperceptible smile crossed his face. It was a smile not of joy, not of relief, but of understanding. "I know the timing isn't perfect," he admitted. "I know this will cause speculation, rumors, and maybe even disappointment. But the reality is, you can't schedule these things. You can't script them. Life doesn't wait for the cameras or the headlines. And for me, I just can't hold it in anymore. Not when it comes to her. He leaned back slightly, exhaling, as if the confession had lifted a weight from his chest. The room remained tense, but a subtle shift had occurred. The carefully constructed barriers of performance and perfection had given way to something authentic, something deeply real. Dylan's words were deliberate, each one carrying an echo of vulnerability. Shen Yue has always been incredible, he continued, and I hope she knows that, regardless of everything, she is appreciated, respected, and valued beyond measure. And not just as an actress, but as a person who has had a profound impact on my life. That is something I couldn't keep to myself any longer. The interviewers exchanged glances, sensing that this moment transcended a typical press encounter. They asked no further questions, realizing that they were witnessing something that was not meant to be dissected, but simply felt. Dylan Wang had shared a truth that had been too long unspoken, and in that act of honesty, he had transformed the energy of the room. He paused once more, letting the silence stretch, letting the impact settle. The cameras captured the subtle shift in his demeanor, the relaxed shoulders, the calm in his eyes, the quiet strength in his voice. He was no longer performing. He was simply being. People will talk, he said finally, and they will speculate, and that's okay. What matters is that the people who are important to you, the ones who truly matter, know how you feel. Shen Yue knows. And that's enough for me. A soft sigh followed, almost imperceptible, but it carried a sense of release, of finality, and of something deeply personal. The confession was complete. The words had been spoken, and the truth had been laid bare for the world to witness. Immediately, clips of the interview spread across social media. Fans replayed the confession, analyzing every frame, every micro-expression. The discussion forums filled with debates, emotional responses, and heartfelt reactions. Many expressed admiration for Dylan's courage, for his willingness to reveal his feelings in such a public and vulnerable way. Others speculated on Shen Yue's reaction, imagining the private moments behind the scenes, the conversations that would follow, and the emotions that must have been running through her heart. Despite the intense scrutiny, Dylan Wang remained composed, aware that the words he had spoken were a commitment to authenticity. It was an acknowledgement of a connection that had weathered time, distance, and the pressures of fame. It was an affirmation that some truths cannot be silenced, even in a world that thrives on secrecy and speculation. The impact of the confession extended beyond the immediate headlines. It sparked a wave of nostalgia among fans who had followed their journey from the beginning. Moments from past projects, interviews, and behind-the-scenes footage resurfaced as fans